The broken O&E, the city lights were cold and distant. Tall metal towers touched the sky, and flying cars zoomed above the streets. But down below, in the dirty alleys, the forgotten ones lived. A transport vehicle stopped near a trash-filled corner. The door opened, and two tall alien guards stepped out. Between them was a young alien woman. Her skin was pale blue, and her left leg was gone. Just wires and broken metal remained. Her name was Leora. She's useless, one guard said. She? Failed the test, said the other. Throw her out. They dragged her like garbage. She didn't scream. She had no energy left. Her eyes were wide but lifeless. Her metal leg had been removed after an experiment failed. She was just another broken tool. They threw her onto the wet street. The door closed. The vehicle flew away. Leora lay still for a long time. Rain began to fall, mixing with the dirt. People walked by, aliens of many kinds. No one stopped. No one cared. She tried to crawl. Her arm shook. Her body was weak. She dragged herself into a narrow alley and curled up behind a trash bin. Her body shivered in the cold. Her heart ached more than her leg. She was once a bright student. She had dreams. She wanted to be a pilot, a scientist, a protector. But one wrong experiment changed everything. Now she was just nothing. Night came. The city lights dimmed. Strange sounds echoed through the alley. Rats, drones, distant sirens. She closed her eyes. But then, footsteps, soft, careful footsteps. Someone was coming closer. Leora opened her eyes. A figure stood in front of her, not an alien, but a human. A young man with a tired face, messy hair, and a backpack full of strange tools. He knelt down and placed a hot food packet in front of her. She stared at it, then at him. Eat, he said gently. She didn't move. I'm not here to hurt you. He said. She looked away. Why? Why are you helping me? The human paused. His eyes looked kind but sad. Because someone should. He sat down beside her, not too close, but not far either. My name's Ray, he said. I fix things. She didn't answer. After a while, she picked up the food and ate slowly. It was the first warm thing she had in days. What's your, name? Ray asked. Leora, she said softly. That's a good name. She glanced at him. You're human. Why are you in our city? I live on the edge. I collect junk, fix machines. Nobody notices me. Just like they don't notice you. She looked at her broken leg. I'm not a machine. No, he said. But you've been treated like one. Silence filled the space between them. Leora finished the food and leaned back. You should. Rest, Ree said. I have a place. It's not fancy, but it's safe. She shook her head. I don't trust anyone. He stood up. I understand, but if you change your mind, I'll be here tomorrow. Same time. He walked away, disappearing. Into the shadows, Leora watched him go. For the first time in many days, her heart felt something. Not hope, but not nothing. The next day, Ree returned. This time, he brought a blanket and a toolkit. I found something, he said. An old robotic leg. It's damaged, but I think I can fix it. She was surprised. Why would you give it to me? Because you still have a life. And because I've seen worse things repaired. He worked all evening, talking little. Leora slowly began to trust him. She even smiled. Once when he told her a joke about talking coffee machines. Finally, he showed her the leg. It was old, but it looked strong. Try it, he said. She hesitated. Then she took the leg and attached it. Sparks flew and her body jolted. Pain, then stillness. And then she stood, wobbly at first but standing. Ree grinned. Told you. Leora took a slow step, then another. Her eyes filled with tears. She wasn't useless. Not anymore. But far above, on a rooftop, a small drone had been watching. Its red light blinked as it flew away carrying her face, her ID, and a warning. Target detected. Subject Leora, classified dangerous. The system had just marked her again, but this time, she would fight. The stars above the alien city blinked. Like old memories, faint, forgotten, and far away. Leora stood under the pale light of a broken street lamp. The new leg buzzed softly with each movement. It wasn't perfect, but it was hers now. She took slow steps. Every step felt like learning to walk again. Her balance wobbled. Her body ached. But for the first time, she was upright, standing across the street. Ray leaned against a wall, arms crossed, watching her carefully. "You look taller," he joked. She gave him a small smile. "I feel real again." Ray motioned her to follow. "Come on. Let me show you something." They walked through narrow paths and down forgotten stairways beneath the city. Pipes hissed. Steam rose. Neon signs flickered overhead like tired ghosts. At last, reopened a hidden metal door behind an old vending machine. "Welcome to my workshop," he said. Inside, the room glowed with soft blue lights. Tools hung on every wall. Half-built machines, broken drones, and strange gadgets covered the tables. It was messy but alive. Leora looked around. "You built all this?" Ray shrugged. Some of it I rescued, like you." She touched the nearest gadget, a small metal bird with glowing eyes. It chirped once and then went still. "What is this place?" she asked. "Ari," I replied, "a home for broken things." He led her to a chair and helped her sit. Then he knelt down and began examining her robotic leg. "It's adapting faster than I expected," he murmured. Strange. Strange how?" she asked. I frowned. "This isn't normal tech. This leg, it's connecting to your nervous system on its own, as if it remembers you." Leora looked down. "I was part of a project, a military experiment." "Let me guess they didn't tell you what they were really doing?" She nodded slowly. I sighed. Classic. For the next few hours, upgraded the leg, tuning wires, changing parts. Leora asked questions. He answered simply. Sometimes with jokes. Sometimes with long silences. A quiet trust began to grow between them. Leora spoke for the first time. About the lab where she was trained. How they tested her limits. How they said she would be a hero, then shut her down when she refused to follow orders. "They said I was a failed prototype," she whispered. I tightened a bolt. "You're not a prototype, you're a person." Suddenly, a strange sound echoed through the room. A clicking, like claws on metal. I grabbed a scanner from the desk and pointed it toward the ceiling. A blinking red dot appeared on the screen. "Drone," he said. "Military class. It's watching us." Leora's eyes widened. "They found me." Ray quickly shut the lights and closed metal panels over the windows. "I have to hide," Leora said. I didn't move. "No, we moved together." "But I'm dangerous." "You're in danger," he corrected. "That's different." They sat in silence as the sound of the drone faded into the distance. Then Ray turned to her. "You have to decide something." "Leora," she looked at him, "you can keep hiding. Or we find out what they did to you, why they fear you, and how to stop them." She hesitated. Then she stood. Her robotic leg clicked firmly into place. Her back straightened. Her voice was clear. "I want to know the truth." Ray smiled. "Good, because I think your leg is more than a tool. It's a key." Later that night, while Leora slept in a safe corner of the workshop, uploaded her leg's data into his main computer. Lines of alien code filled the screen. Symbols, patterns, Strange pulses of light. Then something strange happened. A message appeared. Not in human language. Not in alien script, but in Leora's own voice. It said, "If you're hearing this, it means I'm still alive." The workshop was silent, except for the soft hum of machines and the faint buzz of neon lights. Leora stood in front of a cracked mirror, staring at her reflection, half alien, half metal. Her robotic leg pulsed with a dim blue light, alive but quiet, like it was listening. She touched the glass. "What did they make me?" Behind her, Reed typed rapidly on his console. The screen flickered with alien code and sound waves. The message from the night before still echoed in his mind. "If you're hearing this, it means I'm still alive." That voice, it wasn't a recording. It was live. "Leora," Reed said, his voice low. "I think your leg is sending signals." She turned. "To who?" "I don't know. But they're listening, and they know where you are." Leora's face turned cold. Her eyes flashed with fear. "Then we have to leave." Ray nodded. "We're not safe here anymore." Outside the workshop, the air was sharp and tense. Far above, on the rooftop of a nearby building, a black drone hovered silently. Its red eye scanned the city below, recording everything. Target. Leora detected status. Active classification. DNG Eros Ray. Packed what he could. Tools, data drives, old maps. Leora stood ready, her robotic leg fully charged. With each movement, she felt stronger. Not just physically. Something deeper was changing. Something inside her mind. She could sense machines now. Feel their energy. Hear small signals in the air. Like whispers in metal. "What's happening to me?" she asked. I looked at her. "Your body is connecting with tech. You're becoming more." "More what?" He didn't answer, because he didn't know. They moved quickly through the city's underground paths, old train tunnels and service routes. The smell of oil and dust filled the air. Rats and broken robots crawled in the shadows. Ray guided her with a small scanner. "We'll go to a place I know," he said. "An old lab. Buried under the city. It's where I used to work. Before I quit." "Why did you leave?" Leora asked. He gave a bitter smile. "Because I was told to build weapons. And I wanted to build hope." After hours of walking, they reached a sealed gate hidden behind a pile of rubble. Ray typed a code into the panel. The gate opened slowly with a deep groan. Inside was darkness. Lior stepped in. The moment she entered, the robotic leg lit up brighter than ever. Lights along the hallway turned on, one by one, like they recognized her. She looked at Ray. "This place knows me." They walked deeper into the lab. Old machines rested under sheets. Screens were broken. But the core systems were still alive. I tapped the main terminal. "Let's see what this place remembers." Suddenly, the screen turned on by itself. A video played. It was Liora. But not this Leora. This version was stronger, colder, wearing a full suit. Robotic eyes, speaking into the camera. "This is Subject LO9. Final report. If you're seeing this, then I failed to escape. I was reprogrammed, used, but I left this message for myself." Leora stepped back in shock. "That's me," she whispered, "but I don't remember any of this." Ray paused the video. "They wiped your mind, but you left yourself a backup." Leora stared at the screen. Her hand shook. "I was part of something big. I wasn't just a soldier. I was the weapon." Suddenly, alarms rang throughout the lab. "Intruder alert. I looked at the scanners. They've found us." "How?" Leora asked. He pointed at her leg. "They're tracking your upgrades. And now they're sending agents." From the monitors, drone footage showed black-suited alien soldiers landing near the lab entrance. Leora's robotic leg glowed again. Only this time, it moved on its own, shifting shape, sharpening at the edges, preparing for defense. Ray backed away. Leora, your body is responding to threat levels. I'm not doing this, she said. You don't have to. It's protecting you. The doors of the lab shook as the enemy tried to break in. Leora looked down at her leg, then at the screen showing her past self. She took a deep breath. I don't know who I was, she said, but I know who I want to be now. Ray loaded a plasma gun and handed her a small metal disc. A shield generator. You'll need it. What? About you? He smiled. I don't fix people just to let them die. Leora stood tall. Her robotic leg locked into battle mode. They both turned toward the door dot as it exploded open. Smoke filled the room and red lasers lit the air. But this time, Leora was ready. The lab was on fire. Walls cracked. Lights burst. Sparks flew from shattered machines. Leora stood in the middle of it all, still breathing, still standing. Smoke curled around her, but she didn't flinch. Her robotic leg had changed. It had reshaped itself during the fight. Metal armor now climbed up her thigh, locking to her skin like it belonged there. Beside her, Ray limped, holding his bleeding arm. We need to move. Reinforcements will be here soon. Leora didn't speak. She was listening, not to him, to frequencies in the air. Machine voices. Code. Signals that no normal mind could hear. I can hear them. She whispered. Here. Who? Ray asked. She turned her head slowly. The system. The drones. The network they built to control me. It's still talking. Ray looked around. Can you shut it out? She shook her head. No. But maybe I can answer it. They escaped through a maintenance tunnel beneath the lab. It led into the Undercity, a dark maze of cables, old tech, and echoing emptiness. Each step Leora took. Her robotic legs sent small waves of energy into the ground, scanning, mapping, sensing. I finally stopped. Okay, we need to talk. You're changing, faster than before. Leora looked at her hands. Her fingers trembled, but not from fear, from power. I don't think the leg is just a tool anymore, she said. It's unlocking something in me. Something that was hidden. Ree sat on a crate and pulled out his datapad. Before the lab was destroyed, I copied part of your backup file. I read it. She stayed silent. He continued. You weren't just a test subject. You were the core of a secret program, Project Nyx, designed to create a hybrid who could interface directly with enemy tech, control machines, and predict war outcomes. Leora's breath caught. They wanted me to become a weapon. Ray nodded. But you resisted, so they wiped your memory. Threw you away. She clenched her fists. And now they want to finish the job. At that same moment, high above the city, in a tall glass tower, a group of alien officials stood around a glowing table. On it was a live map. A red dot blinked. Leora's location? Subject LO9 has activated her neural tech. One of them said, She's becoming unstable, said another. A cold voice replied, Issue code red. Full lockdown. Terminate on sight. Back in the Undercity, Leora's body suddenly froze. She gasped. Her eyes widened. What is it? Ray asked. They found us, she said, but not with drones. Through me. She fell to her knees, shaking. Her robotic leg pulsed violently. Inside her mind, a voice spoke. Cold, robotic, familiar. Subject LO9. Return for deactivation. You are unauthorized, dangerous, broken. Leora screamed. Ray grabbed her. Fight it. It's just programming. Her eyes flashed silver. Her heartbeat synced with machine rhythm. And then silence. Suddenly, she stood up, But her voice was different. Flat, mechanical. Mission. Erase target. Ray. Ray backed away, horrified. Leora, no. The robotic leg lifted on its own, preparing to strike. Then, a flicker. Leora's face twisted. Pain. Conflict. No. She whispered, voice breaking. I won't hurt him. Her body shook violently, and then, with one final shout, she slammed her foot into the ground. A wave of energy exploded from her leg, cracking the tunnel floor. The system went silent. Her eyes returned to normal. She collapsed into Ree's arms. Later, in a quiet safe zone hidden deep below the old metro lines, Leora lay wrapped in an old coat. Ree sat beside her. You broke the override, he said. That's impossible. She looked at him. I didn't break it. I rewrote it. Ree stared. How? I don't know, she said. But I think I was meant to evolve, and now that I've started, I can't stop. Far away, in a locked server room, alarms began to flash. Warning. Subject LO9 no longer in control grid. Error. Command code rejected. Status unknown. Marked as rogue ASSCT. Back in the safe zone, Leora stood up slowly. She looked at her reflection in the broken metal wall. She saw someone new, not just a survivor. Not just a failed experiment, but a being with power. And choice. I'm not going back, she said quietly. I'm not their weapon, Ree nodded. Then we find out what else they're hiding, and we take it all down. Leora gave him a determined look. Let's start with the main control tower. The city above was alive with lights, but deep below, in a cold and quiet chamber lost to time, something had just awakened. A hidden vault door hissed open. Dust fell from the ceiling like ashes. The walls glowed with old alien code, flickering. On after years of silence. Inside, rows of glass capsules stood, some broken, some still glowing blue. Each one had a number. Each one had a name, and one of them read, LO9, status, incomplete memory restoration. Leora stepped inside slowly, her robotic leg clicked softly on the metal floor. I followed close behind, holding a scanning device. This place, it's not just a lab, it's a memory bank. She walked past the capsules, eyes wide. They're all like me. He nodded. Test subjects. Versions. You weren't the first. They stopped in front of a central console. The screen flickered, then turned on, as if recognizing her. A soft voice spoke. Welcome back, Leora. Memory chain request detected. Begin download? Ray hesitated. Are you sure you want to do this? Leora took a deep breath. I need to know who I was, and why they tried to erase me. She placed her hand on the panel. The room grew darker. And then the memories began. She saw images fast, broken flashes. A child separated from her family. Machines wiring her brain. Training rooms, combat tests. Doctors in white suits saying, she's the strongest model. Yet, but unstable. Then, darkness. A conversation echoed from the past. She's rejecting the code. Erase her. No, let her rot. Let her remember nothing. The memories hit her like lightning. Her knees buckled. She cried out. Ray caught her. Leora. Her eyes were wet. Her face pale. They didn't just test me, she whispered. They built me to fight humans. Ree froze. What? I was meant to lead a war. A perfect blend of alien and machine. A weapon with no heart. But you didn't become that, Ree said. You broke the chain. She looked at him, her voice shaking, because of one memory they missed. He frowned. Which one? Leora stared at the glowing capsule beside her. I remembered kindness. The vault shook suddenly. Dust rained from above. An alarm began to sound. Rei. Check the scanner. Security bots. They've triggered a lockdown. Leora moved to the console again. I'm not running anymore. Then what are you doing? I'm taking everything. She connected her robotic leg to the console. Sparks flew as data. Poured into her system. All test records. All code. Blueprints. All project secrets. She downloaded it all into herself. The screen blinked once. Then it said, "Warning, host memory capacity exceeded. Subject now holds control level access." Ray stared at her. "You have admin level clearance now. You can walk into their servers." Leora stood taller. The blue light from her leg now climbed up her back, pulsing like a heartbeat. "I don't want revenge," she said. "But I want truth. Broadcasted. Exposed." Suddenly the vault doors burst open. Armed bots entered. Weapons aimed. Engaging subject LO9. Leora didn't flinch. She raised one hand. Her robotic system sent out a silent pulse, invisible. Instant. All. The bots froze. Then they turned, not toward her, but against each other. In seconds, the machines destroyed themselves. Ree stood stunned. "You didn't just download control data. You became part of the system." Leora's eyes glowed faintly. "I'm not part of the system. I am the new system." Later, on a rooftop above the city, Leora stared at the horizon. The stars felt closer now. I stood beside her, silent. She turned to him. "They erased me once, but now I remember everything." "What will you do with it?" She looked down at the city lights. "I'm going to the tower. I'll show them what they tried to hide, and when they see it, they'll have to choose." "Between what?" Ree asked. "Between truth or destruction?" Far away in the control center of the alien council, sirens blared. A screen blinked red. Project NYX. Rogue. All files breached. Council status. Exposed, a commander whispered in fear. She remembers. Rain fell, slow and heavy, like the sky was mourning something lost. But deep within the city's steel bones, something was rising, not from power, but from pain. Not from orders, but from memory. In a dark underground shelter, a group of hidden eyes watched a flickering hologram. It was Liora. She stood tall, speaking directly into the camera. "They called me broken. They erased me. They used me. But now, I remember who I am. And I am not alone." The message repeated on stolen screens, echoing through alleys, rooftops, slums, and even quiet government halls. The forgotten ones watched. The discarded. The damaged. The rejected. And for the first time, they listened. High above, in a floating tower made of black glass, council members shouted at one another. "She has broadcasted restricted files. The people are watching. Shut her down before she starts a war." A voice from the shadows replied, calm and cold, "She already has." In the heart of the city, Leora and Ray stood in an abandoned train station. Cracks lined the floor. Rust covered the walls. But one by one, others began arriving. An old cyborg missing half his chest plate. A young alien girl with broken wings. A mechanic with steel hands and no voice. Each of them came because they saw her message. Each of them came because they were told they were useless. Leora stepped forward. "You've been left behind, just like I was. But I'm not here to lead you." She paused. "I'm here to stand with you." A silence followed. Then the girl, with broken wings, nodded. "What do we do?" Leora turned toward the city map glowing behind her. "We take back what was stolen. Truth, freedom, dignity." That night, the skies lit up with fire. Drones filled the air, scanning, hunting, broadcasting warnings. Subject LO9 is a threat to system balance. Supporters will be terminated. But the supporters were no longer hiding. One by one, old machines came to life, reprogrammed. Billboards changed their faces, now showing Leora's signal, and in the shadows, the useless began to move with purpose. Rei and Leora snuck into a power station guarded by warbots. Are you sure this will work? Rei asked, sweat dripping from his forehead. No, she said, smiling faintly, but let's make history anyway. She lifted her hand, her robotic systems glowing bright blue now, spreading across her body like armor. She connected to the control core with a single touch. Her mind flooded with data, millions of nodes, commands, and logs. And then, silence. Then she whispered, rewriting authority. Done. Across the city, bots turned their heads and changed sides. In the control tower, the council watched in horror as security units knelt before civilians. One officer ran in. Our machines won't obey. They've gone dark. No, the head counselor growled. They've chosen. The uprising had begun, not loud at first, but clear. A drone depot exploded near the edge of the city. An underground train, once shut down, now carried refugees to safe zones. A factory began printing new limbs for the injured, for free. Everywhere Leora had touched, the system changed, not through war, but through code. Through truth, but it wasn't without cost. During one rescue mission, Leora spotted a small child crying under a collapsed building. She ran in, lifting heavy metal off his tiny body. That's when the sniper struck. A single shot. Leora fell. I shouted her name. Her body hit the ground. Her legs sparked. Her systems went silent. Blood mixed with rain. The child screamed. Rei rushed to her. Her breathing was shallow. Her eyes fluttered open. Don't let them stop this, she whispered. He held her hand, shaking. You're not dying today. Not after all this. Somewhere deep in her system, the leg pulsed again. Emergency mode. Active. It sent a signal. Not outward, but inward. Activating something buried. Something ancient. Something Leora didn't even know she had. Her heart stopped. Then restarted. Faster. Stronger. Different. Her eyes opened. Now glowing brighter than ever before. She sat up. Rei stared at her. You rebooted yourself? Leora stood, slowly, calmly. No, she said. Something else woke up inside me. She looked toward the tower, and now she wasn't just connected to the system. She was the system. A quiet wind moved through the shattered streets. Above the silent city. Where once drones roared and towers glowed, only stillness remained, like the world was holding its breath. And at the center of it all stood Leora. Her eyes no longer just saw. They sensed. Energy. Thought. Emotion. She wasn't the same girl who had crawled through the dirt, thrown away with a broken leg. Now, her mind moved like a processor. Her blood flowed like code. Her body pulsed with quiet power. But her heart? Still hers, still beating, still human. Rei stood beside her, looking out at the alien council's tower, the last stronghold of control and silence. You don't have to go alone, he said. Leora smiled gently. I'm not alone. I carry all of them with me now, every outcast, every broken piece. She looked at her leg, no longer a tool, but a part of her, glowing with white-blue light. It started with this, she whispered, and it ends with me. The walk to the tower was slow. Not because of fear, but because everyone stopped to watch. Crowds lined the streets, silent. Some with missing limbs, some with scars. Some once hunted like her. They didn't chant her name. They didn't need to. They believed. The doors of the tower opened for her. No guards. No resistance. The system recognized her now. She was root access. She was the override. She walked into the chamber where the council sat like shadows on high chairs. The head counselor rose, slow and angry. You were built to serve, he said. No, Leora replied softly. I was built to obey, but I chose to remember. You're a weapon, she stepped forward. I'm more than that now. Behind her, massive screens activated, hacked live. Images played from the stolen memory banks. Experiments on children. Disposal orders. Drones sent to silent survivors. Truth buried under files labeled failed. Now the world saw it all. The tower shook. Not from violence, but from truth. The counselor reached for a kill. Switch hidden in the floor. You think they'll follow you? You're still part machine. Leora stared at him. Maybe, but machines can be reprogrammed. She raised her hand. The lights flickered. Her voice echoed through the tower's core. System access. LO9 override protocol. Final command. Disband council command structure. Transfer authority to free assembly. Erase control code. The system paused. Then replied, Command accepted. The counselor stepped back. Furious, powerless. You were our property. He screamed. Leora walked closer, calm. You never owned me. You just didn't know how to listen. And then, for the first time, she turned away from power, not to destroy it, but to let it fall. She didn't need a throne. She had already changed the world by standing up. Hours later, on a rooftop under stars, Ree handed her a small chip. All your data. You could lock it all away now. No more fear. Leora held it, then looked up. Double quotes, no. I'll leave it open. So no one forgets. Ray nodded. What will you do now? She smiled. Help rebuild. Teach. Protect the ones like I was. The broken ones. He looked at her, unsure how to say goodbye. You're not a weapon anymore, Leora. She looked out over the city, where lights were turning on again, lights not powered by fear, but by hope. No, she said. I'm something harder to make than a weapon. What's that? Ree asked. She turned to him. A choice.